Hello Year 6, welcome to your literacy video for today. So for your reading today, we're carrying on with the same books as yesterday. So if you've got the Dragon book, we're carrying on with that one. If you haven't got the Dragon book, don't worry, I will go over that shortly. And I will also be going over your word power work after the reading, so keep watching. Okay, so if you're in the Dragon book then, your next page is page 22 and it's called Reign of the Sea Dragons. Okay, so Reign of the Sea Dragons is an information book by Sneed Collard about reptiles known as sea dragons, creatures that lived in the oceans at the same time as dinosaurs lived on Earth. This extract introduces sea dragons and how they were different from today's ocean creatures. Well, this sounds like it's going to be an interesting text. So you have a read through that. So number 1 says, what is the purpose of the words in brackets? So go and find the words in brackets, don't try and remember. So the first lot of brackets is on line 3. Okay, so it says, in a time when dinosaurs walked the earth, a strange large animal called an Elasmosaur slipped silently through warm ocean waters. So have a look what's in the brackets. What's the author done for you? Okay, so it's broken down the word, but why? Why do you think they'd break down that word? It's quite a tricky word to read because I've never seen that word before. So why do you think he's done that? What do you think he's doing for the reader there? Okay, question 2 then. What does the word propel on line 6 mean? So use a dictionary to help you. So remember, you can go on www.dictionary.com and that will help you. Or you could go to it and find it in the text and that might help you figure out what it means. Number 3. Describe one feature of the Elasmosaur and one feature of the Pliosaur that helped them catch prey. Okay, so this is a 2-mark question. So you've got to make sure you give one feature for Elasmosaur and one for Pliosaur. Don't just do one because then you wouldn't get both marks. Okay, so go through the text and find what helps them catch their prey. Number 4, I think you'll be absolutely fine with. Number 5, just make sure you go to the right section. You might have to read a little bit above that line to help you answer it, but make sure you find it. Number 6, I think you'll be fine with. Number 7 then says, why does the author say that most mosasaurs had curved daggers for teeth? Line 21. Okay, so go and find it in line 21. Read the full sentence, but then have a think. Why do you think he's saying they're like curved daggers? Because they're not really daggers, they're teeth. But when you think of daggers, what do you think of? What's it making the reader think about the teeth? What's it showing you what they are like? Okay, have a think about that. Number 8 then says, why do you think some scientists call the types of creature mentioned in the extract sea dragons? So this is a why do you think question. So the answer's it's not going to be in there. You've got to use your knowledge from the text. So it's a 2-mark question, so you need to give a couple of points, but make sure you back it up. So you could say something like, I think they are called dragons because they are like this. And I know this because it says in the text this. Yeah, so you can copy little bits out of the text and use little bits of evidence if you need to. Okay, so that's your reading. So if you've got the octopus book, then your next text is Colour the Picture, page 12. But I think today you can do 2 pages. So you can do pages 12 and 13. Okay, so on page 12 then it says colour the picture so it matches the text. So you've got to use your reading skills to figure out what colour to colour each thing in the picture. So you need to read this really, really carefully. So it says, the children are, riding on a red bus. The children are riding on a red bus. So now you know what colour you need to colour in the bus. Okay, so you need to read the rest of the sentences and then colour in each thing in the right colour. Page 13 then says finish each speech bubble with the right word. So again, you've got to use your reading skills. So, on, or, your, marks, oh, sorry, the video paused slightly. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there. So, on your marks, get, set. On your marks, get set. And then I think you'll know what comes next. And you can write that word on the line. Okay, so you need to do that for each one of those. Read through it and then think about what word would come next. Okay, so that's your reading for today. So your word power work for today then, if you've got a word power book, if you haven't got a word power book, you should have a handwriting book so you can practice your handwriting. But word power, children, your next page is pages 4 and 5. So we did 2 and 3 yesterday, 4 and 5 for today. So it's called People and Places. So people from many different countries have invaded Britain. You can tell whereabouts they settled by looking at place names because they use their own language to name them. So some place names have the same endings, like Ulverston and Broughton. So ton is a Saxon word meaning house, farm or village. And then you've got rugby and Selby because B is a word from the Vikings meaning farm or village. So your job then in that box underneath is to think of any other British place names that have got ton and B at the end. So have a think. You could always use the internet to help you if you're struggling, but I can think of one really close to here. Just down the road there's a place ending in ton. So have a think if you can think of it and pop it in the box. And also we need to remember, don't we, that place names are proper nouns. So we need to remember our capital letters. Down the bottom then it says here are some common Latin, Saxon and Viking place names below. So use them to work out the meaning of the place names. So we've got Lily Tarn. So Lily isn't in there, but Tarn is. So Tarn means lake. So Lily will just stay the same. So that means Lily Lake. Okay, so then you've got Southport. South isn't on there, but Port is. So port means harbour, so it means South Harbour, okay? On page 5 then, you've got to use the words that we've just, so those words there on the bottom of page 4 to make up your own Roman and Saxon place name for each of these people. So you could put 2 of those words together. So, for example, you could call it, well, you've got to do it for that person, and he is Latin, isn't he? So he's a Latin person, so you need to use the Latin words really. So you could do, I live in Casterport, and that means he lives in a fort near the harbour. Yeah? The next one then says, if you look at place names on a map of Britain, you can see where the different groups of people lived. Look at this map and work out who lived there. So have a look at what kinds of words you've got, and you need to figure out whether it was a Latin, Saxon or a Viking invasion. So who lived there? So you've got Beck, Fell, you've got Tarn, so I'm guessing it's probably Vikings. So the Vikings used to live here, and then you can say why. So how do you know? So you can say that all of those words are Viking words. Okay, so the bottom one then says choose either Roman, Saxon or Viking settlers and draw your own map or of a made-up place. So you've got to invent some place names. So again, using those at the bottom of page 4, and you can draw your own map and pop on the different places. Okay, and then the bottom last bit says, what have you learnt about place names in Britain? I know I've certainly learnt a lot by doing this, so I'm sure you have too. Okay, remember if you've got any questions, please email me, and remember you need to send me a picture of your work for today. See you soon.